Hello, movie fans. Today, I will explain a 2004 comedy music film called Bangkok Loco. Let's jump to the explanation. At the movie's beginning, a man was defecating and shouting. After that, a man played a drum so loudly that everything vibrated. He was enjoying much of his playing when blood was flooding everywhere suddenly. After that, he was shocked to see blood. 2 knives were in his hands, and he was chopping a human body. He got scared and ran from his room to our door, covered with blood in his body. On the street, 2 girls were washing a car, and after seeing him, they cleaned him with pipe water. He faced a twin girl. Many men were dancing on the road wearing various costumes. He ran through them. After that, he stopped before a man prayed, gave money for a donation, and started running again. He was running through a market and between the space of 2 buildings. In the next scene, he opens a door quickly and shouts, "Tun," to help him. The man's name is Bay. After that, a girl, Tun, stopped her and told him to calm down. Bay then locked every single lock of the door and told her everything. The human body was Victoria, the landlord of Bay's palace. Tun asks that he kill her, but Bay refuses. No, his 2 friends, Meow and Ooh, were happy to hear the news because they no longer had to pay rent. But they also accused him of murder, and Meow called the police. Then suddenly, Tun shouted to stop the phone call, and they held a microphone for her to speak. After that, Bay said he could not even kill a fly because he held the Buddhist precepts to his heart. We can see that both Tun and Bay studied drums at the same school, and the subject name was The Drums of Gods, and it was from the Ayutthaya era, which was sacred. Those who practice this art can transmit the drum energy to others. It has a Buddhist receipt. If anyone breaks one, God will leave them and never return. Also, they cannot practice it again. After that, we can see that Bay was ordered to play the drums of gods. If he cannot play it, he will be charged with murdering Victoria and have to go to jail, where he will be punished badly. Then Bay challenged them that he was not a murderer and would prove it by playing drums. Both his friends laugh at him after hearing this. Before playing the drums, Bay prayed to God to get him back to yesterday and start playing songs by drum. His friends were surprised to hear him playing and admitted that he was not a murderer and also started dancing to his music. On the other side, Tun was remembering her memory of teaching drums. She wanted to be a drummer and had talent, but her teacher told her she should not be a drummer because she was a girl. The drum of gods needed male power to play, and the teacher praised Bay for his performance and also for teaching him good techniques. In the next scene, we see a man, Inspector Black Ear, wearing a black coat and having a leaf in his mouth, coming out of the police car. There, 3 ladies were staring at him. Then he went to the murder spot with police forces behind him. After that, he looked around the place and asked a police officer about the victims and the room owners' names. Inspector Black Ears suddenly found underwear and smelled it, but he vomited at its smell. After, he ordered his pet dog to find the owner of his underwear by smelling it. The dog smelled and ran away outside on the street. Behind the dog, Inspector Black Ears and his forces were running. We see that he was running and doing the same thing Bay did while running. Then the dog found a room, and Black Ear tried to break its door, but he failed. Then, one of his police members opened the door by simply moving its handle. It was Bay's friend's room, and they were a music band of 3 members, and the band name was PC. Surprisingly, the room was situated next to Bay's room. After that, Inspector Black Ears found a pair of girls' shorts. One he took by himself and the other one was smelled by his dog to find the owner. He ordered 500 police officers to look around 5 kilometers to find the suspects. Then they reached a spot by following the dog, but there was no one. We can see then the band members were happy to arrange their first concert for the first time. But they want to help Bay first. As a part of helping, they want to ensure he is not a murderer. After that, Ooh took a piece of board from his pocket and called it a mind spell. By using mind spells, they were checking Bay's previous memories. They saw from his memory that the landlady was offering him cookies even though he was late for paying rent. After that, Ooh tried to call the police again, but Tun and Meow stopped him. In the next scene, the teacher, Tung Pak, from heaven, who plays the drums of gods, and Ringo Starr, from hell, who plays the drums of demons, are having a duel every 10 years. They fought the drum-playing battle very hard, but the result was tied. Then they agreed to play again 10 years later. After the fight, Tung Pak had blood vomiting and died. Before death, he wanted to tell Little Bay the secret of defeating demons' drum power, but he could not. After that, we see the band members and Bay decorating the stage where they will perform. They were using him like their puppet. Suddenly, they called the police and told them about Bay's location. But Tun helped Bay by alarming him, and they thanked each other in a lovely way. By chance, the police arrived and started to chase Bay. Then Inspector Black Ear shot fire at him. It hit him, but he was able to escape from there. Bay was unconscious and woke up in the street. Then he removed the bullet from his body. After that, Bay met a man who was a voiceover actor trying to commit suicide, but Bay stopped him and gave advice to be a monk instead. Suddenly, a microbus arrived and picked Bay instead of the suicide man and went to the theater. The police arrived at the spot. The dog drowned while catching Bay. Then Inspector Black Ears told his officers about the story of the dog. He said it was cursed. The couple who took the dog, their relationship would be broken. Surprisingly, that also happened with Black Ear. At the theater, Bay had to cover the voice of a girl and a clown on a show. From remembering his teacher's advice, he did it so well. The theater man wanted him to join him and helped him become a political leader while eating. Unfortunately, the police arrived, arrested Bay, and took him to the prison cell. In the cell, Bay played the drum with the help of glass, plates, etc. and sang a sad song, and everyone in the prison cell cried. The 3 band members were also in prison. After that, Bay and the band members planned an escape from jail, and they succeeded by blasting a bomb in the prison. But Meow and Oo were caught by the police again, and Tun and Bay escaped successfully. In the next scene, Bay tells Tun to take his place at the drum duel. After that, they ride on a truck that is filled with chicken. Bay started playing drums with 2 wooden sticks in their imagination and sang a song during the trip. On the next, we see Bay and Tun looking for places to stay but go to a brothel. There, Bay gave a business idea to its owner, and the owner let them stay in a VIP room as repayment. They also met with another business partner, David. They both were watching TV when 2 women were fighting over a man to each other. Then they slept together on the bed. During the sleeping moment, Bay wanted to touch Tun's body, but he failed. Then suddenly, Bay realized that to get the 10th power of drums, he had to have sex with Tun, and that thing was trying to tell their master before he died. After that, they kissed each other and performed a song full of romance and sexualized desire for them. In the next scene, a police officer showed Inspector Black Earth the ancient scripture of the drums of gods that he found at the National New Bureau. He also told him about the drum duel between the gods and demons every 10 years. The officer planned to catch Bay in the contest because that happened in a few days, but Black Ear refused and wanted to catch Bay as early as possible. After that, we see Bay and Tun wake up to each other the following day. Then Bay practiced the drum to achieve level 10, but he failed. He tried again and failed again. He realized that having a romance with Tun did not give him the power of 10 levels. Tun woke up and asked Bay if he had not achieved the power of the 10th level. After hearing the answer from Bay, Tun said that they had a romance for the 10th time the last night, and maybe they needed to do it another time to achieve power. They both agreed, and Bay went outside to clear his cock. Suddenly, Inspector Black Ear and his police force entered the brothel to catch them. That time, Black Ear perfectly broke that room's door, and all his officers shouted at him. After that, they caught both Bay and Tun from that room. Black Ear hit Bay's head, and Bay became unconscious. In the next scene, Bay woke up in a hospital bed and had pain in his head. There he was examined by Dr. Porn. Also the doctor was a suitable plastic surgeon. He told Bay that Bay was innocent because he also examined the case of Victoria's death. He told Bay that the body found in his room was not Victoria's. It was an undefined body, and the person died a very long ago from an ordinary disease. After that, Porn helped Bay to escape and gave him the address to find Tun. Bay wanted to thank him, but he replied that Bay should forgive him because he had done terrible things to Bay that Bay would realize later. The theater guy was selling a TV in the street, and Bae passed near him. In the next scene, Bae found Tun on a stage playing drums, and Black Ear was also on that spot. Black Ear and his officers started to tell Bae what had happened exactly. Suddenly, Bae realized that Tun betrayed him for achieving 10 power levels of her own. It was Black Ear who threatened and offered Tun the scripture instead of helping Black Ear to catch Bae. Bae then shouted at Tun and said that Tun could not even achieve the power because she was a woman. But Tun replied she would, and she would make it possible. In the scripture, there was an animation of how to get 10 power levels. It would be observed by combining 2 sexes in one body. Bae realized Dr. Porn was asking forgiveness for cutting his penis, and Bae was crying. Then Black Ear and his officers were carrying Bae to the police station. Suddenly, David came there, and there was also Victoria behind him. It was found that David was the partner of Ringo Starr, and Victoria was David's wife. After that, David was the chosen one for the evil drummer, and Victoria tried to murder Bae for that, but David was unaware of this. Then David challenges Bae for the duel but is surprised to have the opponent Tun instead of Bae. After that, the contest started. Then there was a tough fight between them, and it was also comedy. At last, Tun finally defeated David in the duel. Also, there was a blast at the last moment of the contest, and Black Ear died. Then Tun asked for forgiveness from Bae, but Bae refused her and went away. In the next scene, Bae met with the band members in a restaurant and told them not to copy his songs. For this, the band members decided to change their band name from PC to Macintosh, and it was the biggest renowned band in Thailand after some years. In the last scene, we see a foreign journalist interviewing Bae, and Bae is telling the whole story that we have seen in the movie to him. After the dead, Black Ear reincarnated as a panda. That's how the comedy music movie ends. If you like this, please subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel.